In this video, we're going to go ahead and talk about radian measure. So what is a radian and how do we convert between it and degrees and vice versa? So basically that's what this video is about. Let's get started. So far we have only been discussing the measure of angles in degrees. So that was the angle, that was the measurement units we used. But there is one more way to do it, and that is using radian measure. That seems interesting. Let's dig into it. What is a radian? Now, keep in mind we have this other way because it's actually the preferred unit of measurement in theoretical mathematics. So that might matter to you, it might not, but that's why we have this method. So if we imagine a circle with radius r, okay, so circle with radius r. Here it is, boop, okay, radius of the circle is r. Now, if we draw an angle such that the angle intercepts the circle, where the chord, this little section of circle here, is the same length as the radius, that angle is a measure of 1 radian. Okay, 1 radian. I know that's kind of a hard concept to grasp, but that's essentially what a radian is, where the chord and the radius are the same length. Okay, and that would be 1 radian. So it's quite a bit larger than your 1 degree. Okay, so we want to get away from that. So let's talk about how we would convert between degrees and radians. So to convert to a radian, okay, so you're given degrees and you have to convert to the radians, we're actually going to multiply by pi over 180. And to convert to degrees, we would do the inverse. We would multiply by 180 over pi. So let's look and see how that's going to work out. So the first example we're going to do is we're given 2 measurements given in degrees. You can tell they're degrees by these little circles here. And they want us to switch to radians. So if we go back, we can see to switch to radians, to convert to radians, just like you would any units, we have to multiply by pi over 180. Okay, so 45 degrees. We're going to multiply 45 degrees, multiply by pi over 180. So generally we just multiply across the top and across the bottom. So the degrees will cancel, those units cancel. So you get 45 pi over 180. And we're going to want to simplify that 45 over 180. So let's see if 45 goes into 180. Yep, in fact it goes 4 times. So this would actually simplify to pi over 4. So 45 degrees would be pi over 4. Now let's go ahead and do the same thing to 249.8 degrees. Same idea, we're multiplying by pi over 180 degrees. Multiply across the top. Now this one's not going to be so pretty. It's not going to simplify as nicely. So let's go ahead and just 249.8 divided by 180 gives me 1.38. 7 repeating. Just go ahead and round that, times pi. So let's go ahead and just multiply it by pi. Use my pi in my calculator instead of the 3.14. So 4.3, let's round that up to 6 radians. And this one, we're going to have to label radians as well. We always want to label our units, right? It's important to know which one is which. Okay, so that was radians. You can see I made a little graph here. So 45 degrees is actually pi over 4 radians. And if you notice, 249, so that's 180, right? 270 would be this one, so let's just throw it in there. That would be your other angle, and that would be 4.36. So you see radians are smaller than degrees, or I'm sorry, larger than degrees, right? Definitely takes a lot more degrees to make a radian. Okay. Now let's try to go the opposite way, which is let's take radians and actually come up with degrees. So let's take our first one, 9 pi over 4. This is just an assumed radians. Note that if there's no degree, we assume it's a radian. Okay, now this we would have to multiply by 180 over pi. So the pi's cancel, and we have 9 times 180. And we're going to divide that by 4. That's going to give us 405 degrees. So that's actually a bigger angle, right, than the 360. So we could, if we subtracted 360, we would find that gives us 45. So it's actually the same angle. We just added a whole nother rotation, right? A whole extra rotation there on our angle. Okay, now let's do 4.25. Now remember, this is an assumed radians because there's no degree symbol. So we're going to multiply that by 180 over pi. And I'm going to use my pi symbol on my calculator. So 4.25 times 180 divided by pi gives me 243.5 degrees. So there we have it. We have learned how to convert between degrees and radians. Now the only thing you want to make sure is that your calculator is in the appropriate mode, because that can cause a little bit of drama as well. So good luck, and I will see you again soon.